He's already with us. Not very sure whether he's with us. Okay. So I'll just introduce our speaker. Today's our speaker is Dr. Samraj Johnson. He's got a rich professional experience of 20 years in the field of pediatric occupational therapy. He has accomplished masters in occupational therapy at Christ Medical College, Vellore. Vellore is in Tamil Nadu. He is certified sensory integration therapist from USA. So he has done his rest of the course in USA. He is specialized in pediatric occupational therapy from UNC Frank Porter Graham Child Development Institute in USA. He is part of many international research groups, and he is also an author of the book, The Practical Guide to Autism. He is a member of Indian Ergonomic Association, a guide to many international schools, and a key behind developing a comprehensive management program for professionals and parents for the government of Telangana. So when he is in India, I think he's based at Hyderabad. So he's mostly working with government of Telangana, but currently he's in USA. He's currently in USA and has agreed to give us his time for us today. So we all will be welcoming him when he comes in. Either way, I think because of the time differences, he is not able to join right now. We'll wait for him. We'll see when he's going to join us. Meanwhile, we can be probably discussing what an introductory type of what will be the sensory integration, what topic actually is being covered. Most of you, I think, you will be waiting for the children's sensory needs, understanding or trying to understand what exactly is the problem with the children. So the sensory integration is nothing but how to bring in all the senses together while doing any small job. Suppose I'm going to eat. I'm eating, it doesn't mean it's only motor activity. It has got a lot of sensory activities. So is my hand ready to hold the spoon? That's one senses that is required. And is my mouth ready to take in the food? Is my tongue ready to take in? Or is my cheek muscles ready to take in the food? All these things are the sensories. Then comes the throat. There also is a sensory. Pushing it into the esophagus, the food reaches the stomach. All these things happen through sensories. So whether our brain is ready to accept the material in different forms is a self-sensory issue that we see. So it can be through visuals, through touch, or through taste, or it can be through the olfactory, that is the smells, or auditory, that is through hearing. So all the five senses coming together with us to do the best job while we are doing any kind of an activity is what is called as sensory integration. While we are waiting for Mr. Johnson, Dr. Johnson, we can probably understand more where our issues are actually happening. Sometimes the issues with our children might be during eating, and sometimes it might be during writing, or sometimes it might be just while talking, because it is involving the auditory issues. So if the child is not able to take our tone or not willing to hear to us being louder, the child sometimes might close their ears. So this usually is interpreted as a misbehavior or a problem behavior, but it may not be a problem behavior. It might be something as much as a sensory problems. Like the child might be too hard, or we'll say hypersensitive towards the sounds. So if I am louder, the child may not be able to tolerate. So there is a threshold. That is what is called as, in the terms, when we use terms in our professional language, we call it as a threshold. The maximum limits the child can tolerate is called threshold. So once Dr. Johnson joins us, I think he will elaborate it for us. In the meanwhile, if you have some specific doubts, you can always post it in the chat box, because if the session is getting late, you can always record your doubts and then put it back to the doctor when he comes back. I am actually the moderator for the session. So still waiting for doctor to join us. So if there's anything very specific with your child that you would like to mention, you can please start adding it up in the chat box, in the message, so that I'll keep it recorded and inform doctor when he comes in. I think I'm clear. I think Rekha ma'am also should be with us. Yeah.
Yeah, hi, Hema.
Hi, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think you can continue to discuss issues
Yeah.
because a lot of us don't see many of these issues when the child is in the early 6 months.
Yeah.
We tend to see this more when they are in the motion, like when they're starting to walk or they are starting to go to schools. See, early schooling is when we see most of the issues with sensory.
Yeah.
Like like that when we have our centers and we are actually looking at our children, some of them like to touch slippers and put it in their mouth. So I think most of the sensory issues start with mouthing. Why is it that the child wants to take everything to the mouth?
Okay.
Okay, one of the major issues that we see is that how many parents come and tell us that they even take their own feces.
Yes.
And put it in their mouth.
Yeah.
Most importantly, it's things which are rubbery, which they feel inside their mouth, and these are the ones that give us very big concerns. More importantly, I think we forget a lot of things when we do not address issues like sound. Why does certain sounds irritate a particular child?
Yeah.
Is it that they are, reacting more to some sounds or less to some sounds?
Yes.
This is a very big issue when parents come and say that the child is either reacting or underreacting.
Yeah.
So also we have to take into concern the thyroid levels. Because most children with Down syndrome, that they are hypothyroid.
Yeah.
And being hypothyroid leads to many issues in with the sensory area. Or I would like to say that pain threshold is one of my major concerns. Do they have high pain or do they not react to pain at all? Because many people come and tell me that their children fall down and they cry much later. They get hurt and they cry more because people around them are watching rather than that they are actually injured.
Yeah.
So is it that they have a higher pain threshold is one of the major questions that I would like to ask the doctor. Importantly, when they touch, many children withdraw.
Yeah.
Is it because they react violently to certain touches? Like when some people touch them, they don't like it. Though people might say, oh, they love being hugged. It's not true. They don't like it. So sometimes you got to be careful on whether you are hugging or over hugging, or you're touching them, overstimulating them, or understimulating. A lot of parents come to us because there is bruxism, that is the grinding of the teeth, which is one of the major areas that I think 90% of the children are looking at. Parents coming back to us and saying, oh, they grind their teeth. They grind their teeth when they are sitting idle or when they are thinking or when they are. So is it okay for them to grind? Is it another sensory issue or is it a stimulation? So these are the major issues that we have come to realize when we talk mostly to parents with Down syndrome. And I think this is where I would like, this is another very important thing that I find, that they like to touch and pull hair. So why is it that is it another sensory issue? That when they're sleeping or when they're pulling their hair or pulling someone else's head.
फोन कलाडू मु से सारा पाखर भितर बसଥିଲି आज सेकंड अफसर जी असते मैडम से आज छुट्टी असते मु सकाळे 12 आलु आइतले मते 2 आलु असो 2 आलु असो बोली कहतिले ततमे आपण जो फोन कले मु से
I think we'll have to tell them to, or we have to
सार गोटे सानो काम
I think I can do it. Please mute yourself, sir. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So I just got another question that Dhruhi's mother has put up, saying that she closes her ears, so she might be super sensitive to sound.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to know what are the sounds and what is the level of the sound that they react to. So we have to check the child before we say they're closing their ears. So we need to know what makes them do that. So for every behavior, there is a reason and there is a conclusion to it.
Yes.
So we need to look at various areas before we just say, oh, they're reacting.
Exactly.
Why are they reacting or underreacting is a very important thing that we need to note. So I think as parents, every little thing that we watch, observe, we need to, my daughter squints when she looks at the sunlight. And so we are constantly protecting her from direct sunlight. See, this is also a major sensory issue because vision can fail and we fail to understand why the eyes are watering. So if you look at every little area, the stimming is what we are looking at. When I said that they are, bruxism is a form of stimming. So stimming is a huge issue and we need to do what we have to do for a person and how do we help the child to come out of these areas.
Yes.
So I think we need to look at the 5 senses plus one more sense, which is the 6th sense, and then work around the senses and see which is the area that is actually predominantly affecting this child.
Yes.
Because if we don't identify it and we take it casually and say, okay, it's normal, it's not. Even in the regular so-called the typical children, they have certain behavioral issues which we like to address. So I think we have to look at it and also most importantly, look at the hypotonia. So because the muscles are weak, predominantly with persons with Down syndrome, everything revolves around the muscles. So we have to look at the child, we have to look at the thyroid levels, the basically what are the medical issues and then find out why the child reacts.
Yeah. Yes, sure.
So you can take it from there, and a lot of people also tell us that they don't like writing.
Yes.
So we need to address that issue. Why is it writing, which hearing is easier, listening to stories is easier, but when it comes to penning on paper, there is an issue.
Yes.
So which are the muscles that are bothering us? Look at that, okay?
Yeah.
And feet. Again, you have a major problem with standing up and walking, and many people keep talking to us about flat foot.
Not
And all these are also major issues.
Yeah.
Anyone else wanting to add up to the...
Yeah, I think they are putting up a lot in the chat. I can see many things coming up in the chat.
Good.
I'm noting it down.
Simran has her hand raised.
She can probably, Simran, probably you can unmute and speak. You can unmute and speak. Simran, your mic is not on. Please unmute yourself. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, Simran.
Hello.
Yes.
Now, ma'am, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes. We can hear you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I have a son. He's 9 years old, almost 9 years old.
Yeah.
So he has a मतलब अभी तक मैम वो बहुत mouth breathing ही चलता है उसका.
Yeah,
मतलब he mostly breathes from his mouth only, and उसके sensory issues, he doesn't like to eat carrot, cucumber, all the crunchy cheese he doesn't want to eat.
Okay.
Apple, and he's very fussy about the fruits. He like only banana, and just now मतलब कुछ दिन पहले he has accepted chiku, but he doesn't accept the crunchy things especially.
Okay. So
Crunchy thing, he doesn't eat any salad.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Yeah. So the normal food is always mashed for him?
No. Ma'am, he eats chapati.
Okay.
He chew chapati.
Okay.
Rice he swallows.
Rice
he swallows. Most of the time he swallows. So I am showing him that Santosh, chew like this, but cucumber, any type of salad, any type of fruit except banana and chiku, he, in fact, he doesn't even put on his tongue. He started puking. She vomit आई, he started like this. And बाहर का मैम अभी कुछ भी नहीं खाता, चिप्स भी नहीं, क्रंची चीज कुछ भी नहीं खाता है.
Okay.
So मुझे भी कहीं थोड़ा टाइम पहले ही पता चला, क्योंकि संतोष को आर्टिकुलेशन प्रॉब्लम है, तो ही इज ट्राइंग टू स्पीक एवरीथिंग, बट लाइक ही सेज 42 को 42, 43.
yes.
So इंस्टेड ऑफ द, हाँ, तो वो जितना उसका च्यूइंग होगा पार्ट, उतना ही तो उतना ही उसका क्लियर होगा. या ही हाय, ही सेइंग हाय. जिराफ. ओके ओके, से बाय बाय.
Bye, Santosh.
Okay, ma'am.
Bye. Yeah. So okay, I'm making.
So my major problem.
Yeah, we are waiting for Dr. Johnson to join us so that he will really clarify so many things with us. Yes, he will be the right person.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm just making a note of it because he might get late. If he is getting late, we will put the note to him and then he will reply to us. Thank you, Simran.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, sure. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
So, Hema,
Yes, ma'am.
that's another thing that I noticed is the orosensory issues. So I think that stems from a lot of this, the swallowing itself is a orosensory issue.
Exactly.
And I think it is because also we have not encouraged them enough. See, my point is, it is not easy to make children chew. You can't just say chew. It doesn't work that way. So you have to use a basic guidelines for the orosensory and make them feel from the time they're little.
Yes.
So I think that the amount of motion inside the mouth, what is it inside the mouth, is very important. So I think this has to be addressed by Dr. Johnson in a very big way. Okay.
Yes. Yes, I think a lot of issues with the mouth, that is the major issue. And then when it comes to school age, I think we can see the issues with not holding the crayon or not holding the pencil or not willing to even write. All these things also comes as a bit of sensory, but not everything cannot be a sensory. If the child is not holding a pencil, first we should check whether the child is not able to hold or not willing to hold. Those things we have to really check. If he is not able to hold properly, then it comes into especially how the fine motors are developing, how the gripping is happening, whether he is able to hold a spoon while eating. So just leave the pencil alone and think of the other things. Whether he is able to do the other activities with his fine motor abilities are there to do the other activities. Sometimes I do hear parents saying the child is not able to write, but is able to eat with the spoon. That means the fine motor has developed well, but the child is not willing to write. That is a difference over there. So there's nothing to do with the sensory over there. If the child is able to hold a spoon, the child will be able to hold a pencil. But when it comes to crayon, it's very waxy. So if you're removing the wrapper of the crayon, then it is very waxy and the child may not be willing to touch it. So these kind of touch things are called as sensory. Again, it comes to tactile. So how do we improve this? Is nothing but we have to keep on making them do it regularly in a fashion that today I'm giving you something very soft. Again, immediately I'll be giving you something rough touch. So there will be different materials are graded as very soft, medium soft, then rough and medium rough. So this gradation should be there and the child will be moving the hand through this gradation. So if I have a felt paper which is very soft, so I'll be moving my fingers on the felt paper to some extent. Suppose I usually make the children do a lazy 8. I don't have a lazy 8 right now here. So if I do a lazy 8, I'll use different materials on a lazy 8. Lazy 8 is something to do with your fingers, tracing with your fingers, moving around like a 8. So if I'm using different materials, my fingers will definitely, my tips of the fingers will definitely go upon the materials. Usually we use the pointer and the middle finger. While we are tracing, we are not using all the 4 fingers or all the 5 fingers for tracing on the material. So we are using the pointer and the middle finger because the nerve endings over here will carry the message to your brain. Can you please unmute? Somebody make, can others unmute? Sorry, can others mute, please? So when we are using the tactile sensations to improve the tactile sensations, use a graded material. I will be using a felt paper followed by a velvet paper that is extremely soft. A felt paper is slightly soft, then extremely soft. Then I'll be moving on to a rough porous sheet or a sandpaper. Then moving to a Scotch Brite. You know, the Scotch Brite is nothing but we use for cleaning our vessels, something quite rough or a coir-like thing. So my fingers have to move on to all these things in a gradation. So what really happens, the brain starts taking in different materials alternatively. So once the brain starts accepting the different alternate materials, it happens to the mouth also. So the mouth, the sensations in the mouth also will start accepting different gradations. So if the child is not taking something crunchy, that means you can start with the tactile. You need not start with the mouth. Start with the tactile. Do a lot of tactile for the foot and the fingers. This is very important. And at times we need to do it on the spine also. So when you're doing it on the foot, you will have to put down carpets of different sensations. Usually we use the grass carpet. We get it like it's just a plastic carpet, but more like grass. So it will be poking on your legs over there. Then we get a coir carpet, followed by a cotton carpet, and then a velvet carpet. So when the child walks upon these carpets every day, it should be a routine. Like if I give a ball, the child will walk upon these carpets and put it in a bucket over there. Again, walk back in the same carpet, pick up the next ball and go back. So when the child is walking along these carpets every time, the nerve endings in the foot is carrying a message to the brain to accept different kinds of sensations through tactile. So this is one way of increasing the tactile threshold. So that is what I said. The threshold is nothing but the maximum limit the child can go. And actually, even we do have. Sometimes when somebody is writing on a board, the sound the chalk piece makes is a squeaky sound. And really, none of us, most of us can't take it. It's really irritating. Usually, we tend to close our ears when that sound comes. Or when the loudspeaker squeaks, or when the cell phone is very close to the mic, the sound it comes, then we cannot really take it. But for a child, it might be, the threshold might be too very less even to accept a simple sound. So when we work with the tactile, this is a gradation. When we work with the sounds, also we have to go in a gradation. What can be the gradation? A simple rattle can be the lowest sound, followed by a bell, a small bell in your hand. That can be the next gradation. Then followed by a calling bell, followed by a telephone ringtone, which is louder. Then followed by a mixie, followed by a cooker. This is how it should go. So a child should be able to hear this sound followed by the next. So the gradation should happen. And every time the gradation happens, the child's threshold is going to increase. The child will be able to withhold or handle much more bigger sounds. But if you can't do the gradation and child suddenly expose the child to a sound, it is not possible. The child will not be able to accept it. So practice something called as gradation. Then coming to the visuals. Visuals. If I say, if I flash something onto the child's face and expect the child to see, the child may immediately turn the face because the visuals are too hard for the child to take it. So again, gradation should happen. What is gradation in visuals is a milder picture with only one picture, slightly bigger in size. That should be the easy one for the child to see. Then comes the slightly smaller, then slightly smaller, but with different colors. So I'm increasing the colors as the child moves on. So initially I should not show multiple colors. I will start with only one color, move on to the next color, move on to the next color, then come into multiple colors. So this is called the visual gradation. So if you give gradation for everything, then what really happens, the child starts accepting things in the same way. So most of the time, this is what happens apart from oromotor. So when it comes to oromotor sensations, again, the gradation should be the foot, the materials that we use, along with the tactile. I should be giving the tactile along with the food. It cannot be directly the food and expecting the child to accept it. how much of tactile did I do? That should be the question over there. So if I'm giving enough amount of tactile for the feet and the hand, then this also will usually improve. That is how it is. Once the brain starts accepting the material, the mouth starts accepting the material. That is how the sensory integration actually happens. So then you have to add up with oil massage. I think most of us do oil massage to our children. But sometimes what happens, the oil massage when done on the spinal cord, the child doesn't accept. It is okay on the legs and the hands, but is not okay on the spinal cord. So the child immediately shrieks or leaves the place or wants to run away. This is what happens. So again, you have to do a gradation on the spinal cord. Don't directly go onto the spinal cord with the material. Go with the gradation of tactile using different materials and then go and reach out. So again, the brain starts understanding what kind of materials are being used and what can be accepted. So this kind of acceptation is nothing but sensory integration. I hope to listen a lot from Dr. Johnson. I don't know why he is not able to join us. Yesterday, he has actually given us a concern that he will definitely join us. He couldn't join us, so I'm just continuing. I can see a lot of posts coming in.
Hema, very important question.
Yeah.
How do you identify whether my child has a behavior disorder or has got a sensory issue?
Yes. Okay. So when this kind of a question comes, we have to check when is this behavior happening. So how many repetitions of these behaviors are happening and when is it happening? So you have to just definitely make a note of it. Suppose you say my child is grinding the teeth. So when is your child grinding the teeth? Is it just before studying? Is it just before eating? Is it just before sleeping? Or is it while sleeping only? Or is it during all the other activities? If it is happening throughout all other activities, then it can be a sensory issue. Even before that, check with your dental. Is there any problem with your dental issues? Is there any cavity? Is anything else troubling in the mouth? Check that also, rule it out. Then again see whether the behavior is continuing in all other activities or only during single activity. If it is a single activity, put it into behavior. If it is happening in different activities, put it into sensory. It is as simple as this. Any behavior. Suppose the child is soiling the pants. Is it happening only during a particular period of time, or is it happening only in the morning or in the night, or is it happening only during particular time of activity? Just check this. Or whether it's happening anytime, randomly at any time. If it is happening randomly at any time, it can be again a medical issue of neuro. A neuro issue should be checked. If the neuro issue is also overruled, then come back to behavior. Okay, if it is happening randomly, then it can be a sensory issue also. Or if it is happening only during a particular activity, then it is specifically a behavior issue. So that is what is identification. We should be able to clearly identify these things. So it cannot be, when the child is doing something, you cannot say it's a behavior issue at all. You should check whether it's happening randomly or it's happening during only particular activity. Ma'am, am I clear? Ma'am?
Excuse me, ma'am. I asked this question actually. The thing is, like in winters, my son don't like to wear zip things like jackets and all. मतलब जैसे उसको मौका मिलता है कि हाँ मैं उसे उतार सकता, मैं उतार देता हूँ. अब मैं फोर्सफुली ठीक है पहना देती हूँ because it's winter. लेकिन how can I differentiate कि हाँ वो the same thing, it's a behavior or it's a sensory?
Okay.
कि जितनी देर मैं उसको फोर्सफुली पहना के रख सकती हूँ, उसने पहनी हुई है तब कोई इशू नहीं है, लेकिन जैसे ही उसको मौका मिला हम घर वापस आए हैं तब मैं इसको उतार सकता हूँ, तो ही मतलब चेंज कर लेता है साथ के साथ.
In winter, now let us talk about like this. How is he in other times? Like, does he like to cover himself with a blanket on all other times or not? Alka, your mic is off. Alka, can you put it? Yeah.
हाँ जी मैम. Blanket, no, he's comfortable with the blanket.
Okay, he's comfortable with the blanket. Only the zipper coat is a problem with him.
Yes, yes.
So it is not a sensory. It is definitely not a sensory. That is how we should really understand. Okay, if something goes upon you and then you're okay with it, then only the zipper is a problem. Then it is only a behavior, or I don't like it. I don't like it for some other reason. Something like that. Okay. So we can always motivate the child in such cases. We can motivate the child with a sticker on your coat.
Okay.
Or say that I have put something on the back of the stair, on the back of the coat which you cannot see, but we all can see. So the child will wear a coat.
Okay.
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 So these are called behavior issues.
Thank you.
Okay, right. So anyone with a specific?
Hello.
Yes.
हाँ नमस्कार मैडम.
I have a question. My son is Hello. 6 Good years afternoon, old. ma'am. And
One sec. I think Mr. Nilesh.
hello.
One sec. Let Mr. Nilesh complete. Mr. Nilesh, you can talk, Nilesh. Mr. Nilesh.
Hello.
Yes. Mr. Nilesh, आपका माइक ऑफ है. नीलेश जी आप ऑन कर लीजिए.
हाँ बोलिए.
हाँ बताइए क्या बात है.
हाँ मैडम, मेरा सन है 10 साल का.
हाँ.
और उसको वो बहुत ही ज्यादा हाइपर होता है.
हाइपर होता है माने
और
क्या?
हम दोनों पति पत्नी हैंडीकैप हैं, 90% डिसेबल.
ओके
और
सर.
उसके कारण उसको हम मेंटेन नहीं कर पा रहे हैं.
हाँ.
कोई ट्रिक ऐसा हो तो समझाइए आप, क्योंकि वो हेड बाइंडिंग करता है.
ओके.
हेड बाइंडिंग करता है
हम्म.
और घर में कोई भी चीज तोड़ फोड़ करने लग जाता है, हाइपर होता है तब.
ओके ठीक है. तो हेड बैंगिंग कब करता है? जब कोई उसे गुस्सा करता है तभी करता है क्या?
उसकी कोई रिक्वायरमेंट जो उसकी डिमांड है वो आप पूरी नहीं करते हो तो,
हाँ तो
और उसकी रॉन्ग डिमांड रहे तो भी हमारे को पूरी करनी पड़ती है.
ओके, दिस इज कॉल्ड एज बिहेवियर. इसे कहते हैं बिहेवियर इश्यू. ये तो सेंसरी में नहीं आती है. ऐसे वो जब डिमांड करता है, उसका डिमांड जब पूरी नहीं होती है तभी वो हेड बैंग कर रहा है, तो इसे कहते हैं बिहेवियर. तो ये एक ऐसा होता है कि बिहेवियर को चेंज करना है. इस बिहेवियर को चेंज करने के लिए आपको ऑल्टरनेट बिहेवियर सोचना पड़ता है. अगर उसने सेलफोन मांगा, आपको सेलफोन नहीं देनी है लेकिन कुछ और देनी है, सो आपको ऑल्टरनेट सोच के रखो. उसे और क्या अच्छा लगता है? शायद पेंटिंग अच्छी लगती है, शायद कुछ और अच्छी लगती है. जो उसे अच्छी लगती है वो चीज आप रेडी रखो.
जैसे उसका प्रॉब्लम ऐसा है, जैसे टॉयलेट जाना है, जाएगा नहीं, बैठा रहेगा, बहुत देर तक बैठा रहेगा, लीक करता रहेगा, लेकिन टॉयलेट नहीं जाएगा.
अच्छा.
और अपने बोलेंगे जा टॉयलेट करके आ, तो वो जाएगा नहीं और सर फोड़ने लग जाएगा.
हाँ, आप बोलने से उसे अच्छा नहीं लगता है और खुद भी नहीं जाता है. खुद नहीं जाता है.
नहीं मतलब हमारा कमांड नहीं लेना है उसको.
हाँ वही, अभी समझ में आया. आपका कमांड नहीं लेना है तो कुछ और.
हाँ.
वो कब सुनता है? किसके साथ सुनता है? किसके साथ वो कंफर्टेबल है?
मतलब उस टाइम कोई भी अनजाना आके उसको बोल देगा टॉयलेट करो तो कर लेगा.
हाँ,
और हम बोल रहे हैं तो नहीं करेगा.
ठीक है, आपके पास कुछ गुस्सा है उसको. उसके गुस्सा तो कम करो थोड़ा. समथिंग कुछ उसे कुछ गुस्सा हो रहा है कि आप शायद जब बोल रहे हैं तो उसे अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है.
हाँ.
आप उसे थोड़े से गुस्सा मत करो ना. ज्यादा गुस्सा करते हैं क्या?
एक्चुअली क्या, हम बैठे रहते हैं, बैठे बैठे उसको ऑर्डर करते हैं
इसलिए
और दूसरे लोग उसको हाथ पकड़ के टॉयलेट तक ले जाते हैं.
हाँ वही तो.
कंडीशन दूसरों से बिल्कुल विपरीत कंडीशन है हमारी.
यस, आई अंडरस्टूड. दैट इज व्हाट. आप कुछ कर भी नहीं सकते हैं उसके पास, लेकिन उसे वो चाहिए. ही इज आस्किंग फॉर इट. उसे वो आप लोग भी उसके साथ जाना है उसे. he wants a modeler which you are not able to give. So इसलिए उसको फ्रस्ट्रेशन हो रही है. फ्रस्ट्रेशन इसलिए हो रही है. कुछ सपोर्ट है आपके पास? घर पे और कोई रहते हैं? नहीं,
हम 2 ही लोग हैं.
ओके. सो इसकी बिहेवियर इश्यू उसके समझ में आनी चाहिए कि यू कैन नॉट डू इट एंड उसको करना ही पड़ता है. उसके समझ में. कितनी साल का है?
10 साल का है. और जैसे उसको टॉयलेट करना और हमने कहा और हाइपर हो जाएगा तो कोई पड़ोसी आके उसको ले जाएगा, चला जाएगा, लेकिन हमारा कमांड नहीं लेगा.
ठीक है, आपको कुछ और टेक्निक सोचना पड़ता है. जैसे कि हम नहीं बोलेंगे लेकिन जब म्यूजिक सुनेगा तो चले जाना. हम नहीं बोलेंगे लेकिन जब म्यूजिक चलेगा तो आप चले जाना. ऐसे कुछ कमांड कर लो. मेक एन टेक्निक कुछ ऐसा बदल दो कि हम नहीं बोलेंगे लेकिन जब म्यूजिक चलेगा तो आप चले जाना. ओके.
नहीं, वो इस टाइप से समझता नहीं है. दूसरा कोई वह समझता ही नहीं है. कोई आके खड़ा होगा तो चला जाएगा.
ओह अच्छा.
दूसरा कोई कमिटमेंट नहीं समझ रहा है, अंडरस्टैंडिंग कर ही नहीं रहा है.
अच्छा, लेकिन ठीक से सुनाई पड़ता है उसे? ठीक से सुनाई पड़ता है?
हाँ, सुनता है, समझता है सब कुछ.
ओके. तो कोई
बोलता नहीं है.
शायद आपके अभी आपके प्रॉब्लम के लिए तो कुछ कोई और चाहिए आपको ट्रेनिंग करने के लिए उसे. you have to take some other support.
हाँ जी.
कुछ कोई और लेना चाहिए आपको सपोर्ट के लिए. कोई किसी और को ले लो थोड़े दिन के लिए उसे ट्रेन करने के लिए.
रखा था वो उनके साथ फिक्स हो जाता, फिर वो भी प्रॉब्लम है।
थोड़े दिन के लिए फिक्स होने दो ना, थोड़े दिन के लिए फिक्स होने दो, जब तक वो सीखेगा।
नहीं, जैसे अभी आज की बात कर रहा हूँ, आज भी उसको मतलब बाथिंग करवाने के लिए मेरा भतीजा आता, तो भतीजा जब तक नहीं आता तब तक नहीं करेगा बात।
ओके, दिस इज
आज जैसे मेरा भतीजा था, वो बाहर चला गया तो 9:30 बजे तक नहीं आया, तो उसने से बात नहीं किया आज।
अंडरस्टूड, बट दिस इज अ वेरी पेक्यूलियर इश्यू। ये क्या हो रहा है आपकी फैमिली में ना, ये प्रॉब्लम है। ये प्रॉब्लम को ठीक करने के लिए आपको कोई किसी और का सपोर्ट तो जरूर चाहिए। एट दिस टाइम यू रिक्वायर सम अदर सपोर्ट।
लेकिन कोई सपोर्ट भी ऐसा परमानेंट कोई सपोर्ट मिलेगा नहीं ना मैडम।
थोड़े दिन के लिए, जब तक उसे समझ में आए, उसे समझ में आनी चाहिए ना, एटलीस्ट 15 इयर्स, उसे 15 इयर्स हुए तक उसे समझ में आएगा थोड़ी देर, तो तब तक तो आपको किसी को रखना पड़ेगा।
ऐसा करते करते तो आज 4 साल हो गए मैडम, अंदर सपोर्ट ले लेके जिनसे सपोर्ट लेते हैं उनका हो जाता है।
नहीं, बच्चे
हमारे साथ अटैच में ही नहीं आता है। जो काम जिसके साथ फिक्स है, जैसे खाना किसी के साथ खा रहा तो खाना उसी के साथ खाएगा।
वो तो होती है, लेकिन आपको उसमें क्या करना है, वो सपोर्ट थोड़ी थोड़ी धीरे धीरे जब वो होते हैं तभी कम करके आपके पास आने के लिए भी बोलना है, ऑल्टरनेट करना के। कभी कभी आप करेंगे, कभी वो करेंगे।
जैसे ही हमारी तरफ लाने की कोशिश करेंगे वो हाइट बाइंडिंग चालू कर देता है।
अच्छा,
यहाँ तक कि रोड पे लौटने लग जाएगा।
I think we will take your issue separately, sir. आपका इश्यू ऐसा है कि घर में भी प्रॉब्लम है और उसका भी प्रॉब्लम है। ऐसा नहीं कि उसका ही प्रॉब्लम है, हम नहीं मानेंगे कि उसका ही प्रॉब्लम है, घर में भी प्रॉब्लम है ना। So we'll have to accept both. So we'll take your issue later, sir. Separately लेंगे आपके इश्यू, बाद में बात करेंगे। Thank you.
Emma, we have to help him by discussing this privately, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Let us ask him to write to the federation and we will look at his situation, okay?
नीलेश जी, आपको बाद में फेडरेशन को एक बार कांटेक्ट कीजिए, आपके लिए कुछ और हेल्प करेंगे बाद में। Thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am. Hello. Ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Hello, ma'am. Can I ask a question, ma'am?
Yes. I'm not getting who it is. Can I tell your name?
Anushya Shah. Anushya Shah.
Anushya Shah. Yes, Anushya Shah.
Madam, thank you. Thank you for giving me chance. Actually, ma'am, my son is of 8 years. The problem is he's not speaking like others, very few words. But nowadays he is trying to speak also when I am telling something. But the lower jaw, always he is taking inside. That is why his problem. And another one thing, ma'am, he don't want to catch the pen, pencil, anything of writing article, and not at all interested in learning activities.
Okay. So
I couldn't understand whether it is a sensory issue. Actually, I don't know what is the definition of sensory issue, what type of problem it is. But and I am not giving any. I am not afford. I can't afford any kind of therapy, madam. In home only, I am giving by observing all the videos, all these things. I am doing the things at my home.
Yeah.
Myself is a teacher, and I am taking him to my normal school, and he has improved a lot. Behavioral improvement is very good as he started to go my school.
Okay, fine. So when did he start his school? At what age?
2 years. It becomes 2 years, ma'am.
It is only since last 2 years he started going to school.
But learning activity is not good.
No,
learning activity is not.
Yeah, for 6 years, till 6 years he never went to school.
Behavioral issue, very improvement is there. Too much improvement is there. Going in a line, not running out of the line, sitting in line and taking foods, keeping the plate the same place. All these things improved a lot.
Okay, so give him more time. No, what Anushya, I will say, give him more time because he has just started with his schooling. I will request all parents, if the speech is not coming, please don't stop schooling. Speech is not an issue at all. Let the children go to school in the right time. 3 years, put them into school. If they are able to walk, it's enough. They don't have to get speech to go to school. So most of the parents delay sending the children to school, and all other activities will delay. So now the issue with Anushya's son is he's not holding a pencil, is not showing, and even with academics. It sometimes happens that we delay it. We make the children not do anything until 6 years. and then expect the children to learn everything by 8 years. That is, we are just giving 2 years, and the 2 years will be really very difficult for the child to immediately come up with other children in par with other children. So I think you have to give more time and work with him. He will come up because he is learning other things in the school. He will learn this also, but it may take some time. So give him little extra time. That's what I can say. Okay, please don't delay. Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am. Hello, excuse me, ma'am.
Who is that? Anyone else would like to talk?
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, Nisha.
No, ma'am.
Who is talking? Nisha is talking, I think. Is it Nisha Sharma?
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
This is Aditi, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, actually my son is 8 years old.
Okay.
And वो क्या करता है, मतलब जब भी कोई नहीं देख रहा है या कुछ भी तो अपना कपड़ा खोल देगा, कपड़ा खोल के खड़ा हो जाएगा और फिर हंसने लगेगा।
जब कोई नहीं देख रहा है ना,
मतलब कोई नहीं देख रहा है तो कपड़ा खोल के खड़ा हो जाएगा और हंसने लगेगा। मतलब कि वो चाहता है कि हम आए फिर उसको कपड़ा पहनाए और उसको मजा आता है, मतलब किसी को भी परेशान करना है। ऐसे पॉटी कहीं भी पॉटी करके आए, उसका पॉटी का इश्यू है एक्चुअली। वो हुआ था तो उसको पॉटी का जगह नहीं था, तो वो पॉटी मतलब वो नहीं करता है मतलब अच्छी से, तो उसको कभी पॉटी लीक होती रहती है। तो जब मन आया कहीं पे भी पॉटी कर देगा, फिर हाथ से छुएगा, उसको गींज लेगा, तो उसको पता है वो चीज कि मम्मी आएगी तो मम्मी साफ करेगी, तो वो उस चीज को करके वो खुश होता है, उस चीज को करके बाथरूम में चला जाएगा। उठते ही तो उसको पॉटी में जाना है और नहाना है, नहाने का बहुत ज्यादा है, सीधे बाथरूम में घुस जाएगा और सीधे नहाने घुस जाएगा, पॉटी से गींजेगा। और कुछ गुस्सा आएगा तो किसी को जब उसका बात नहीं मानेंगे, गुस्सा आ रहा है तो नोच लेगा, बाजू वाले का हाथ पे नोच लेगा, पिंच कर लेगा या फिर थप्पड़ मार देगा।
बात नहीं कर रहा है, बिल्कुल बात नहीं कर रहा है, स्पीच नहीं है,
बात करता है, स्पीच बहुत कम है, स्पीच कम।
ओके, कितने साल में स्पीच आया उसके?
स्पीच अभी आया, उसका साल भर से ही स्पीच आया है। अभी वो 8 साल का हो गया, साल भर से ही आया है वो स्पीच उसका।
ओके, सो द इश्यू इज, फर्स्ट वन इज पॉटी लीकिंग, वही मेजर इश्यू है। पॉटी लीकिंग के लिए आप कुछ डॉक्टर के पास बताए क्या?
हाँ, डॉक्टर बोलेगी जब तक समझ में नहीं आएगा, इसका जब माइंड में जब सेट हो जाएगा कि मेरे को पॉटी आ रहा है, अब मेरे को पॉटी करना है, वो बाय एज आ जाएगा। आप उसमें कुछ उसको प्रैक्टिस करवाते रहिए, दिन में 2-3 बार बैठाइए, उसको प्रैक्टिस कराते रहिए, तो बाय एज उसको समझ में आने लगेगा, तो फिर वो पॉटी करने लगेगा।
नहीं, वो लीकिंग के क्या बात है? लीकिंग क्या होती है?
मतलब वो पेट साफ नहीं, पूरा पेट नहीं साफ होता है उसका।
उसके लिए डॉक्टर को बताया क्या आपने?
हाँ, उसको दवाई दे रहे हैं, तो मतलब कभी पेट पूरा साफ हो गया तो नहीं हुआ, पूरा खुद से प्रेशर नहीं लगाता है, बहुत कम लगाता है, तो उससे पूरा पेट उसका साफ नहीं होता है।
So that's what this is a partially medical issue. So अगर मेडिकल इश्यू ठीक हो गया तो पॉटी लीकिंग नहीं होगी। पॉटी लीकिंग जब नहीं होगी तभी आप टॉयलेट ट्रेनिंग कर सकते हैं। और स्पीच तो 1 साल पहले आया तो फ्रस्ट्रेशन तो रहेगा ही, और गुस्सा आया तो सबको नोच लेगा, ये सब तो उसकी फ्रस्ट्रेशन है। दैट इज
इशू नहीं है ना, वो फ्रस्ट्रेशन है उसकी, मतलब
सिर्फ फ्रस्ट्रेशन है उसे कि बोल नहीं पाया, और इतने दिन तो बोल नहीं पाया, अभी तो थोड़ी थोड़ी स्पीच आ रही है, तो फ्रस्ट्रेशन में किसी को नोच लेगा। सेंसरी इशू नहीं होती,
उसका बात नहीं मानो तो खुद को मार लेगा 2-4 थप्पड़, जब देखो तो अपने आप को मारेगा। मतलब सामने वाला मेरे पर ध्यान दे, उसके लिए वो कुछ भी करेगा।
वही तो, ड्रेस निकालना भी होगा, अटेंशन सीकिंग है,
अटेंशन सीकिंग है,
दिस इज एक्सट्रीमली अटेंशन सीकिंग। किसी को नोचना भी अटेंशन सीकिंग ही होती है। ऐसा नहीं कि उसे सेंसरी है किसी को जाके छू ले, ऐसे नहीं है।
अभी चबाता भी नहीं है, मतलब रोटी चबा लेगा, सॉफ्ट चीजें चबा लेगा, कड़क चीज दूंगी तो नहीं चबाएगा।
कड़क चीज नहीं चबाता है,
चिप्स नहीं चबाता है, रोटी चबा लेगा, चावल खा लेगा, डोसा सॉफ्ट डोसा बना के दूंगी तो खा लेगा, कड़क तो दूंगी तो थूक देगा।
हमारे लिए तो रोटी भी कड़क ही होती है, आपके लिए नहीं होती है रोटी कड़क?
नहीं मैम
हमारे लिए तो रोटी भी कड़क ही होती है। अगर रोटी चबाएगा तो सब चबाएगा वो ना कह के नहीं कर रहा है। मेरी मतलब है कि वो आपको सताने के लिए नहीं कर रहा है, शायद वो उससे खाना अच्छा ही लगेगा, लेकिन आपको नहीं बताना है कि उसे खाना अच्छा लग रहा है, इसलिए नहीं कर रहा। बस this is not a behavior issue, this is not a necessary issue, it's exclusively a behavior issue। अटेंशन सीकिंग है, आपके पास ज्यादा अटेंशन उसे चाहिए। आपके कोई और बच्चे हैं क्या उसके साथ?
मेरा एक छोटा बेबी है 3-4 साल का, तो वो दोनों के साथ में वो बहुत ज्यादा उसमें और ज्यादा बिहेवियर आ गया। वो देखता है मम्मा बढ़ गई है आधी आधी, तो बस उसके चक्कर में बहुत ज्यादा हो गया उसका।
हाँ, वो that's what this is all behavior issue. आप अलग से behavior issue हमारे पास वापस behavior issue के लिए एक ये तो हो जाएगा, तब बात कर लेना. Then we will definitely speak about it. Okay?
Okay,
This is
ma'am.
not sensory. Don't worry. This is nothing to do with sensory. That's what you have to now understand what is sensory and what is behavior.
Yes.
Ma'am, please excuse me, ma'am. Take my question for 1 minute.
Yes, please.
My child is 2 years, 2 months old.
Wait. Let me know who is talking. Nisha.
I'm Nisha. Nisha, yes, ma'am.
Okay, Nisha. Yeah.
My child is 2 years, 2 months old.
Okay.
As you were talking about grinding teeth, he grinds teeth most of the day, not doing during particular activities, but if he's sitting idle, he will keep on grinding his teeth. And about potty and shushu, I want to tell you that though I am indicating him that you have to go for pee and all that in the bathroom, I show him, I direct him how you have to go there. But still, what I feel, he feels happy sitting on one place and doing pee over there. He enjoys doing that.
How do you know he enjoys it? Does he smile after that?
Yes. He touches his penis after doing that.
Okay.
Means he started playing with it.
Okay, right.
And with his elder brother, what he does, whenever he gets, most of the time he's angry with his elder brother. If he touches him, if he wants to take something from him, he bang his head. If he's not able to hit him with his hand, he bang his head against him, against his elder brother.
Okay. Right. Now you told me 3 issues. One is the teeth grinding.
Yes.
Which could be. Have you checked with the dental doctor?
No, ma'am.
First, please check with the dental doctor, whether any cavities are there, whether anything has to be filled up.
Okay.
Okay, that is first thing. Usually, the teeth grinding might be an issue where there's a pain, there's a severe pain, and the child is not able to express the pain. So, the child tries to grind the teeth to put the nerves intact. You pull the nerves when you're grinding, so the child might be doing it. So, first rule out whether there's any cavity or any problem with the dental. Then,
actually, when he sits idle, when he's not doing anything, at that time he grinds his teeth.
Otherwise, he's not grinding?
No, otherwise no.
Oh, then it is a behavior issue. Then you have to give challenging things for him to work with his mind, or you give him anything to do with the hand, no? Like a toy which can just go truck. What kind of toys you say? You call this toys which just fits this way and that way. It doesn't come out at all. So you can give that kind of toys so that he'll be engaged.
Okay.
So when such thing happens, he'll stop grinding. That is the issue only there. And you give him very challenging things. You don't give him something very boring. He will not like it. So make it very challenging every time.
Okay, ma'am.
उसे अभी पता है कि how to stack. अगर उसे पता है कि एक ग्लास के ऊपर एक ग्लास कैसे रखे, उसे पता है. अभी आगे से सिखाओ कि एक ग्लास के ऊपर एक ग्लास रखने के बाद एक चम्मच रखो. So that becomes a challenge. So always add something to challenge it.
Okay.
Then the idleness will stop, and then his brain will start improving, and then he'll stop grinding the teeth. Then the next issue is the potty.
Yes, I want to interrupt you, ma'am. Actually, suppose if I've come to know that he is doing potty and I make him sit on the pot at that particular time, he will not do, whether I will sit for 5 minutes or for 10 minutes.
Okay.
And after that, when I will pick him up from the pot, and after that, after 4-5 minutes, again he'll do the potty.
So it's very clear now. It's a behavior issue. It is not a sensory issue at any point of time. Because now he knows how to control it. Imagine the child of 2 years controlling the potty, even when you're making him sit on it. So that means the child is able to control it. It is an exclusive behavior issue. Okay, this is nothing to do with sensory. We have to talk it about later. We will have one more session on behavior issues. That time we'll have to talk about.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ma'am, can you take my question?
Yes, please.
Ma'am, my son is 6 years old and he holds pencil from here. Means not from the tip, from this point, the edge of the first cut in the finger with the thumb tip.
Okay.
And from there he holds properly, but उससे वो grip नहीं बन पाती pencil से proper, तो वो लिख नहीं पाता properly. मतलब lines वगैरह लगा लेता है, but लिख नहीं पाता properly.
आपका मतलब है वो यहाँ पकड़ता है पेंसिल को, एकदम आगे पकड़ता है?
नहीं, वो पकड़ता आगे नहीं है. वो जब पकड़ता है तो वो यहाँ से पकड़ता है, like this.
Oh, like this. He holds a pencil like this.
नहीं, like this.
Like this. Okay. Okay. This is a gripping issue. Okay, right.
And he didn't like me to hold his hand.
Fine.
While he holds the pencil. He didn't like me to hold his hand. He just want to have it individually. But वो लिख नहीं पाता उस issue के कारण.
Okay, fine. So does he eat by himself? खुद खाता है क्या?
मैम he didn't chew. तो swallow करता है, तो अगर उसका food
हाथ से खुद खाता है क्या?
हाँ.
खुद ही खाता है हाथ से?
नहीं, हमेशा नहीं खाता, but sometimes he used to do. अगर मन है तो खा लेगा अपने आप, वरना तो मम्मा को ही खिलाना है. वरना मैं नहीं खाऊंगा.
This is nothing to do with the sensory. Definitely, it is something to do with gripping. Okay, उसे आलस है, मैंने उसे करना नहीं है उसे. क्यों मैं करूं? तो खाना भी ऐसी है. क्यों मैं करूं? मम्मा खिलाने दो.
Okay.
Okay, now he is 6 years old, so now you have to put him totally independent. वो खुद ही खाना है. पहले उसे अगर खुद खाएगा तो खुद पकड़ेगा और खुद लेकेगा.
Okay.
Eating is very important. They have to eat in themselves. When they are eating, they are using all the fingers. The gripping happens. And this gripping is very important because when it goes to mouth, this is called eye-hand coordination.
Ma'am, but he didn't chew ना, तो he swallow foods, तो उसका जो food होता है वो थोड़ा सा soggy होता है. तो usually वो spoon से ही खा पाता है. तो spoon से वो spoon properly hold कर लेता है. Spoon मतलब उसने hold करना शायद अभी सीखा है, साल भर हुआ है. But अब properly वो उसे hold करके spoon अपने मुंह तक properly ले जाता है and he used to take it. But वही chewing issue आ रहा है, speaking issue आ रहा है. च्यू नहीं कर पाता बिल्कुल भी. मैं एक साल हो गया, मैं च्यूई ट्यूब भी इसके मैंने थेरेपिस्ट से कंसल्ट किया था, तो मैं इसकी थेरेपीज ले रही हूँ. वहां पर उन्होंने मेरे को बोला था च्यूई ट्यूब यूज कीजिए आप, तो आई एम यूजिंग च्यूई ट्यूब. ऑल्सो वाइब्रेटिंग ब्रश भी यूज कर रही हूँ उसके लिए. बट मतलब कुछ भी इफेक्टिव अभी तक मेरे को 1 साल के बाद भी रिजल्ट नहीं मिला.
I think this issue can be addressed by speech pathologist. Speech pathologist अगर देखेंगे तो बताएंगे कि मसल्स बहुत वीक है या स्ट्रॉन्ग है. अगर मसल्स वीक है तो क्या यूज करनी है, मसल्स स्ट्रॉन्ग है तो क्या यूज करनी है, अलग सी मटेरियल होती है. तो probably speech pathologist can help you with this.
Okay.
Okay. I think we have a session on all these things. No, तभी आपको बोलना है.
Hello, ma'am.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
मैम मैं सोनाली बोल रही हूँ.
Yes.
मैम गुड आफ्टरनून. मैम मेरा बेटा है 6 साल का है. वो पता नहीं अभी कुछ दिनों से एकदम से हंसने लग जाता है और सारे दिन बोलता रहेगा. सारे दिन बोलता है और हंसने लग जाता है, और कुछ भी जब उसका मन होगा तो करता है, अदरवाइज वो मतलब कभी कभी बाइट कर लेता है. बहुत रेयर कि बाइट करता है और हिट कर देता है. फिर तो दिन भर मतलब दिन भर हंसता रहेगा और दिन भर बोलता रहेगा. कभी भी जैसे काम एंड कूल जैसे बच्चों को बैठते हैं कि बेटा अभी वेट करो, थोड़ा सा अभी बैठो चुपचाप, वैसे बिल्कुल नहीं करता है.
तो किससे बोलता है? खुद ही बोल लेता है क्या?
हाँ मैम, खुद ही अपने आप ही बोलता रहता है. फिर
क्या बोलता है?
कुछ भी जो उसका मन करेगा वो अपनी लैंग्वेज में बोलता रहेगा और हंसता रहेगा बस. फिर
आपको समझ में आती है वो क्या बोल रहा है?
नहीं मैम, वो अपना ही बोलता रहता है. कुछ अपना ही बोलता रहेगा, खेलता रहेगा, ऐसे मतलब रन करता रहेगा. जैसे बोल दो कि अगर वेट करके बैठो तो वो नहीं बैठता है. फिर
नहीं मतलब अपना भाषा नहीं बोल रहा है, वो बैबलिंग कर रहा है क्या अभी?
हाँ, हंसता रहेगा, मतलब सारे दिन कुछ बोल करके हंसता रहेगा ऐसे.
कुछ जो बोल रहा है आपको समझ में आती ही नहीं है, तो अपना भाषा नहीं बोल रहा है क्या?
नहीं मैम, वो मतलब अपनी लैंग्वेज नहीं बोलता कि कुछ गाना सुना के हंस रहा है या कुछ करके, ऐसे नहीं हंसता. बस कुछ ना कुछ अपना बोल के हंसता रहेगा.
ओके. अभी उसे स्पीच नहीं आया?
नहीं मैम, स्पीच आ गया है उसको. फिर स्पीच पूरा सेंटेंस बोल देता है कि मम्मा पापा आ गए, दीदी खाना खा लो, ऐसे पूरा बोलता है, क्लियर बोलता है. फिर
टीवी ज्यादा देखता है क्या?
मैम टीवी हाँ देखता है मैम. टीवी तो देखता है जैसे सब लोग देखते हैं.
कितने आवर्स देखता है एक दिन में?
हाँ जी मैम.
कितने घंटे तक देखता है टीवी?
मैम जैसे खाना खाते टाइम देखता है, या बीच में उसकी मेरी बेटी भी है तो उसके साथ देखता है, या बीच में उसके पापा देखे तो उस हिसाब से देखता है. हाँ लेकिन देखता है फिर उस हिसाब से.
अगर 3 घंटे तक एक दिन में 3 घंटे तक टीवी चालू होती है उसकी?
हाँ मैम, इतना तो होता है. फिर
थोड़ा कम कर लो ना. वो ये सब बोलने का सब कुछ है टीवी से. शायद वो सब डायलॉग्स फिर से दोहरा रहा है, आपको नहीं पता है.
क्या चीज मैम?
जब टीवी देखते हैं ना तो बच्चे दे ट्राई टू इमिटेट, दे ट्राई टू टेल व्हाटएवर दे हर्ड. जो सुनते हैं टीवी में, वो सिर्फ फिर से बोलने के लिए ट्राई करते हैं। शायद हो सकती है कि टीवी देखने से वो लोग फिर से when they are sitting back, वो जब बैठते हैं तो अकेले किसी के साथ वो बोलने लगते हैं, जो भी वो सुने वो बोलने लगते हैं।
अच्छा, लेकिन मैम उसका क्लियर नहीं होता है कि वो क्या बोल रहा है।
याद नहीं रहती है ना, सभी डायलॉग तो थोड़ी याद रहती है, याद नहीं होती है तो इसलिए, लेकिन बोलने की कोशिश करता है जो भी वो सुना।
अच्छा, और मैम डाइनिंग टेबल पे बैठ के ना, जैसे वो चपाती खाना खुद से खाता है, लेकिन वो जैसे खाएगा तो पूरा मुंह में ठूस लेगा और बोलते मैं बेटा छोटा छोटा बाइट्स लो, लेकिन वो पूरा मुंह में ठूस लेगा, या डाइनिंग टेबल से भी लेके वो खाना स्टार्ट कर देता है। मना करते लेकिन फिर भी, तो ये क्या बिहेवियरल में मैम आएगा उसका?
डेफिनेटली बिहेवियरली है, डेफिनेटली बिहेवियर। आपको ऐसा करना है कि वो चपाती सब छोटा छोटा बना के, नहीं तो और भी स्मॉल स्मॉल पीसेस रखो उसके सामने। अब पूरा चपाती मत दो जब तक वो सीखे, जब वो सीखेगा तो तभी पूरा चपाती देना।
अच्छा,
this is but behavior, this is definitely behavior, nothing to do with sensory at all.
मैम कभी कभी जो बाइट कर लेता है वो क्या करूं, क्योंकि तो प्रॉब्लम बाहर से भी आई थी कि बाहर के बच्चों को बाइट कर लेता था, कभी
कभी बाइट कर लेते हैं तो किस वजह से, आप वजह ढूंढो। अगर कभी कभी हुआ तो वजह ढूंढो, रैंडमली हुआ तो वजह मत ढूंढो, कभी कभी हुआ तो वजह है, समथिंग इज ट्रबलिंग हिम।
ओके मैम, ओके,
लुक फॉर इट, आप नोट करना है, कब 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 करा आपको नोट करना है।
Ma'am, can I ask you one question?
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Bye.
Yeah, hi. Ma'am, I've been interacting with you in the SFI conferences, but this is a virtual one now. Two things. One is my son does this sound with his tongue between his teeth very occasionally, especially when he's concentrating on something. And it's quite an irritating sound. First, I thought he had a wax issue, but doesn't look like it's connected to that. Lately, I have realized, because he's on this online virtual classes, when he's concentrating on something or is concentrating on an activity, that is when he goes ahead and he does that sound. Okay, so that is one. And number two is he used to have sensory issues with loud noises, which he has overcome, but he still has a sensory issue with the cooker whistle. So whenever there's a cooker whistle, he just runs away or he gets very disturbed. He starts crying. You know, that is the only thing he's kind of, I don't know, I would not say scared of, but he gets really disturbed with that. He holds his ears so tight that he doesn't want to.
Can I get his age, please?
He is 4. He's going to turn 5 next month.
He'll turn 5. Okay, let's take it as 5 years old. So he's making some sound with his in between his tongue. That is it something like that?
Yeah, exactly. But it's a little bit very, you know, it's not as rhythmic as what you're saying.
Okay.
It's a little bit annoying sometimes, because he keeps on to.
It is annoying for you and it is pleasing for him. That's the difference.
Yeah, that way I would say.
From it because of his ears. It might be that his ears are getting closed and he's trying to release it every time.
But why would he do it when he's concentrating only on something? Because he doesn't do it otherwise.
No. When he's concentrating, he has to hear no.
Okay.
So that is the reason he's trying to open out his ears.
No, so here's the thing. That is one scenario.
No, see, when you're concentrating, you need to take the message directly into your brain. So you have to that is self-stimulatory behavior also, we call it as also self-stimulatory behavior for auditory. So I'm trying to do that to get it properly into my hearing. So when I do that, it releases me. But just check the ears are blocked with wax.
I do that occasionally. I clear his wax, so I put I can't hear you well because somebody's talking.
Can others mute, please? Can others mute? Others mute, please. We can hear some noise.
Now they are able to hear us.
Others mute, please. Yeah, I'm talking to Sonia. Sonia, I think you can keep yourself on. Sonia was the one who was talking to me.
Yes, ma'am. I'm on. Yeah.
So please check with the ENT whether any problem with the hearing. It's not hearing. It is something to do with the blockage of the ear.
Okay.
Sometimes the children try to release the ear's blockage through making that kind of a noise. It is not actually noise. That is the way they can release. We can't. That is the condition they are actually expressing. Okay, we'll have to take that. And the second thing you said is loud noise and especially cooker.
No, loud noise is okay with. He used to have it when he was a baby. Like he used to not like loud music and all of that.
Presently, it is
But
only
now he's gotten over it. He's even performed in the school annual day on a loud music. The only thing he's still scared of is the cooker whistle.
How is he with the mixie?
Oh, he can take that. He's fine with that.
He's fine with it. Okay.
It's
So,
only the cooker whistle.
okay. So again talking about the gradation. See what happens in a cooker, it just issues and stops. Again it issues after some time and stops. So this is actually creating a fear. This is a kind of a fear that the child is sensing. So every time the sound might suddenly come and then stop. So how is he with the Diwali crackers?
Oh, that's all fine.
That's all
He's
fine.
with that. Yeah.
Very good. So you have to just keep on exposing him to the cooker here, nothing else. Ask him
That's
to put
it,
the
is
weight
it?
one day. Let him put the weight and wait for the whistle.
Okay.
You get
I'll
over
try.
it. It's just a fear, nothing else.
I'll try. I'll try. The one other thing is his potty training. I've been working for quite a while. He's got control on that, but he still does not emote. He talks so much. I mean, he knows everything to tell us, but that is one thing he doesn't want to tell us. He'll prefer to control it for even 8 hours or 9 hours. You know, one day I tried.
Did he have a toilet accident? Did he anytime fall in the toilets?
No. Only thing he might be scared of doing it otherwise, because many a times when he did it, we kind of told him that you should go to the washroom and do it and all, which he's doing. But the thing is, we have to coax him to take him to the washroom. He doesn't, it's like he can hold it for long. He has control, but he doesn't tell us.
Yeah, sometimes it so happens the child is having some fear of going to the toilets, or the child would have fallen sometime, or some toilet accident would have happened. This could be the one cause. The second cause could be something like, you would have been scolding him for quite a long time, and now he's got this depression. So
no, actually, honestly, scolding is not there, but that thing about telling him that you have to go to the washroom is something that we've been telling him in many ways. It was never like, we tried to scold him.
Now the technique can be, you keep something very attractive in the washroom.
Yeah, we play music. You won't believe, we play music for him in the bathroom. He does.
Hema, we have Hiral with us.
Yeah, but then
Hiral is going to take up the issues of sensory.
Okay, fine.
So I think we will welcome Hiral. Hiral.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Hiral. You're a lifesaver, yeah. Thank you so
Anytime,
much.
ma'am. Anytime, ma'am. No worries.
I think our speaker from the US has just fallen off to sleep. So we are not able to wake him up. And thank God we have you with us. You are like our usual savior. So,
anytime, ma'am. Anytime.
We'll give a small introduction. Hema, you know Hiral, don't you? Bangalore. Hiral has been dealing with Hema, you are on mute. Okay, so
yeah.
I think Hiral, I think I would like you to just introduce yourself, and that'll make things easier.
Sure.
But your moderator is Hema from Chennai. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Hello, Hema, ma'am.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. So, hi everyone. I'm Hiral. I'm a pediatric occupational therapist working in with all kids with special needs since last 10 years. I have my own setup in Bangalore, and I've been associated with a wonderful association with the Rekha ma'am since last 3 years. So yeah, looking forward for many more, and thank you. So yes, ma'am, we can go ahead.
Yes. Now the parents can post the questions for Hiral.
Okay. Ma'am, can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay. My name is Trupti Shah and my son is 6-year-old. And ideally, he's been doing schooling since 2 years of age, but he's into a Montessori setup. But I face a lot of sitting tolerance with him. So the academics and all, he's not interested. He is very good at movement activities.
Okay.
anything sports or anything he is very good at. Music, dance, that is something he's keen on. Even the life skills, we would say, like, anything where he has to help at home, he would be keen. But when it comes to academics part or something, he's not very keen. Now, his language, since past 2 years, he's like past 6-7 months, he is trying to say 2 or 3 words in Gujarati as well as English he's picking up.
Okay.
So, but whenever I have to make him sit and do anything, it's very difficult for me. So is it a sensory thing or?
How old is he?
He's 6 years.
He's 6
and a
years.
half. Yeah.
Okay. So, see, movement is a very important component when it comes to the learning. Okay. And if you feel that he is more towards the movement side, then definitely your approach towards teaching and learning should be towards the movement side. And then you bring back for a shorter duration of time where you do academics. Again, you give him a movements break because it is needed, because probably that's his need of his body and his brain. This may be underlying some amount of sensory issues, but yes, you really need to kind of a schedule his day in a such a way that he's getting a good amount of movement break on a regular interval, so that whenever he's expected to sit, he's organized and he is able to focus and do the productive work.
Okay.
Trupti, 1 second. Trupti,
Yes.
when did you last take his thyroid test?
3 months back. So thyroid medication, it's normal. It's 1 point something since 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
So.
And he's on the medication?
Yeah, he's on medication since 3 months. Like he was 3 months
Okay.
old.
One very small thing I would like to tell you all, that when you are hypothyroid, your muscles are also not as firm as everyone else's. So sitting can become quite difficult for our children. So when they sit for a little longer, you'll find them whole body going lax because of the hypotonia. So please, that is why they get up and start moving around. Do not expect them to sit for long periods of time, taking into consideration the medical situation. So I would, just like Hiral has said, alternate between movement and sitting, and you will find him enjoying it, because we've got to move with them rather than asking them to do what we want them to do. It is difficult. So please understand the child before we come to a conclusion about his sitting tolerance. It is this is not so easy, okay? So take it one thing at a time and it will work out. Don't worry, okay?
Okay, so there are any exercises or something that needs to be done, like before making him sit, or anything in particular?
It depends. Hiral, what do you think would be the...
Yeah, so definitely a bit amount of heavy work. Heavy work means like a climbing or a kind of a moving heavy objects from one end to the another end. So that gives a proprioception and that has a calming effect. Okay. So definitely those heavy work and the climbing and a bit amount of physical activity. So when we say movement, so movement should be, so it should be a rhythmic and slow movement. So when you want them to calm down, it should be slow and rhythmic movement. So even the example, if you're giving him swing, so, and your aim is to calm him down when he's on a hyper arousal mode. So it should be very slow, and you need to reduce other sensory inputs, like you should not be giving too much instructions. It should be just only one input at a time when he is on a hyper arousal mode. So that's, it's going to help him to calm down and come to the optimal arousal mode. So
actually, ma'am, I do have a rope ladder, and he does a lot of physical movements at home. Also, he's not sitting there. So, but when it actually comes, like, if we have to just do a normal matching activity, also there is too much of resistance from him said to not. So right now we have come to where 15 minutes he'll cooperate, but again, coloring or something, anything related to writing, nothing works, and even numbers, he's not very keen on doing anything related to maths.
Understand. So where here when his interest to the traditional reading writing is not so great, so what you can do is you can use a multi-sensory approach. You can rather than using the paper and crayon, you can use the paintbrush, and then you can give him a coloring and all, like even on the vertical surface, or you can give a counting and all with the real objects rather than kind of giving him a sum.
Okay.
So as he's in Montessori approach, definitely they would be having many techniques, and there are many techniques available on YouTube where you can use a multi-sensory approach and you teach them a subject rather than kind of going very traditionally.
Okay. Sure.
Does it help you?
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, you're welcome.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, this is Priya. May I ask you a question?
Hello. Yeah, please go ahead.
Ma'am, my son, he is, yesterday only he turned 7. And ma'am, he has a little issue of rubbing his hand when he's going to any occasion. Like if he's attending any birthday party, then he's sitting and alone, and then he rub his both palms. And then makes a noise like this, very slowly. He doesn't hurt anyone, doesn't do anything. He just watches them and does this activity. Like if he's watching TV also, then sometimes, it's not always, sometimes he does that. So is it the sensory issue or is it something else? He's feeling lonely. I'm not able to make out actually.
Probably it may be a kind of a anxiety about the event, probably, or it is too overwhelming. I'm just assuming, okay, because just rubbing is not giving me too much information about his other sensory system and how does he processing.
So ma'am, he does it like, can you see me?
Yes,
he does like he does like this only, and he sits and stares the person, whatever is going on actually.
And he's just doing in the social gathering, or in general also he does it?
He does it in social, if he goes for any birthday party, mostly we take him for that only, or if he's watching TV, sometimes he does this.
Even during sometimes in the
when he's watching TV, sometimes, not always. I cannot say it always.
But if he's just doing this, maybe it may be just a mannerism to regulate himself. Even we kind of keep moving our legs sometimes to kind of regulate ourselves.
So that is not a sensory issue, because I'm quite, I'm thoughtful what is happening. Like everyone starts seeing me just like this. Like this.
Yeah. So because he's 7 years old, so we can use a kind of a more of a kind of a, how is he about the following instructions and all?
He's good. He has some mobility issue. He is not still doing independent standing and walking. So I'm working it. He's doing supported standing and supported walking.
But following commands and all,
yes. He addressed, he's a peaceful child and a very good child.
Okay, so we can use a sensory strategy, kind of a cognitive strategy. You because definitely in social environment, it doesn't kind of very socially acceptable, or people definitely looks at it. So what you can do is you can use a social cue card, like kind of, you can make a quiet card where you can kind of remind him. And you can talk before taking him to the particular event.
Ma'am, I did that. Actually, ma'am, what I feel personally, he himself doesn't know this, because if the party gets over, we come back, then I ask him, you were doing this. He says, Mama, Karthik nahi karega. Karthik aisa nahi karega. Karthik won't do this. So I feel he is not doing it intentionally. It's unconscious.
But you can kind of, so what you need to do is,
kids, they start staring him what he's doing.
Yeah, I understand. So what you can do is you can prepare about the event in advance. Okay. And you can kind of talk to him before the event that, okay, Karthik, keep your hands nice. Okay. And when people are there, we cannot
try this method. Yesterday was his birthday, and before organizing the birthday, I told him we're not going to do this, and we'll sit nicely, we'll play the games. For him only I made some games, few games, 2-3 friends were there, but then also after finishing, he was eating the food and he was doing this only.
But I really don't feel that it would be just a sensory doing this. It's more of he's trying to. Hi.
He's sitting next to me.
He's adorable. He's cute. So, But I think so you can try using the cue card probably, which will kind of remind him. I know it would be involuntarily, but whenever you notice him and you kind of show him a cue card, so probably that will help him to again regulate himself. Okay, and then let him do it at home. Like you can tell him, okay, you can do it at home or inside the washroom, but he cannot do it in the social environment.
At home only he does just do this while watching the TV. That too only sometimes only.
Sometimes, right?
But in guessing, I can feel that. What I feel personally might be he's lacking the friend circle, so he feels alone. That's the reason.
Probably, I'm not
because of the mobility issue. He does not interact much with his age group friends, so he mostly interact with the elders or with me or his therapist. What I can say.
I understand.
Frankly,
I feel it's more of like a regulatory strategy, and I guess you can slowly see. One time saying it's not going to come. Probably you may have to repeat it with the cue card. We need to really be okay if he's doing it. Okay. But yeah, you can start using the cue card and slowly it would come. It won't come in just one time you say, then he's going to follow it. No, we may have to repeat it for again and again for another few months and years also. And then you will see that socially appropriate behavior.
Hiral, can I please interrupt?
Okay.
Hema here.
Yeah, please go ahead, ma'am.
Hiral, we will probably talk only about sensory issues in this session.
Yeah, please.
Because the behavioral issue, we'll have another session.
Okay, sure. Sure.
One parent really wants you to explain what exactly sensory issue is.
About all the different sensory systems?
Yeah, they want to understand what symptoms is called as sensory issues and not a behavior.
Okay, fine. So, we have a different sensory systems in our body. Okay, and every sensory system has some function allotted. Like one is so I'll just brief you about the different sensory systems and what are the if it is the what are the function of it, and then if not if any concerns or processing difficulties, what would be the symptoms of it. So when we talk about the tactile system, tactile, which is touch which is normal for us. So where child has a difficulty in the processing, sometimes they might, so in one phase, in one instance, it may be kind of hypersensitive to the touch, where child is not even comfortable with the regular touch. Child may find it hypersensitive to the touch. And in other instance, child that is a hypo-responsive to the tactile system, where child requires lots of inputs from the touch. So that is about the hyper-responsive to the touch. So when child is hypersensitive to the tactile system, child might not be, so you might see this following difficulties, like child is not comfortable with grooming activities like hair cutting, nail cutting. Child is not comfortable with playing with a messy play. Child is not comfortable eating soggy food, or child is not comfortable with the brushing. Child is having very particular about the wearing dresses, full sleeves, half sleeves. So these are all symptoms for the tactile hypersensitivity. Okay, when there is a tactile hyper-responsiveness, that is where a child requires lots of inputs to understand the touch. Child will be kind of lots of fidgety. Child would be touching here and there to feel the different textures. Okay, child would be kind of very inappropriate, sometimes touching here and there everywhere to feel the textures. So that is about the hypo-responsive to the tactile system. Next is about the proprioceptive system. Okay, in proprioceptive system, it's always a hypo-responsive to the proprioception. So if it is a hypo-responsive to the proprioception, so proprioceptive system, which is present in our every joint. Okay, every joint has a, hello? Yeah, every joint has a different, every joint has a proprioception. Okay, so amount of force, how much amount of force we need to use to do particular activity, which is done by this proprioceptive system. So I'll give you an example of the plastic glass, transparent plastic glass filled with the water. Okay, and it is your judgment how much amount of force you are going to use to hold that particular plastic glass, so that you are not squishing it and you are using the appropriate force. So that appropriate force, which is which is done, that decided by that appropriate force which is held by this proprioceptive system. So any activity, so how much amount of force we need to use to do particular activity, which helps, so proprioceptive systems help in deciding that particular force. Okay, so if it is a hypofunctioning child, might not be able to understand how much amount of force they are putting or using to do particular activity. They may put either too much of pressure, they are very light in doing activities. Okay, so that was about the proprioceptive system, or their body awareness is poor, as this proprioceptive system is also kind of, it facilitates in improving the muscle tone. So definitely, if it is a hypofunctioning, definitely our kids are having difficulty in processing even this proprioceptive system when they have a low tone. Okay. So next is about the vestibular system, which is present exactly behind our ears. So any movement is sensed by this vestibular system. This vestibular system, it gives us a reference to the gravity, where we are in reference to the gravity, which is done by this vestibular system. So when it is a hypofunctioning, so when it is a hypofunctioning means any amount of movement which brain is not registering. So child would be seeking lots of movement, child would be running around here and there, child would be continuously jumping to see. So that is it's from his brain, that vestibular system is sending inputs that I require a movement. So it's not that child is having any behavioral concerns or anything like that. It is that urge of movement which is kind of stimulated from the brain and the vestibular system. When this vestibular system is working with hypersensitivity, where even the minor movement which is sensed by brain, which is too much. So that is hypersensitivity to vestibular system. So child might be fearful to the movement. Child might be having a fear of even the leaving the foot off to the ground. Child might be having fearful to do the or climbing on the heights or do the jumping. So that is about the hyper responsiveness to the vestibular system. Next is about the auditory system. That is hearing. So either if it is a hypo, then even though we are kind of giving an instruction to the child, child is unable to register the inputs. That is hypo-responsiveness. They have many different segments in that, whether it is a receptor or the processing in the brain. Where is the difficulties that we need to work out in, through assessment. And when child is hyper responsive to the auditory system, even generally they have difficulty with the high frequency sounds like mixie, pressure cooker. Okay, these are all low frequency sound. So they have difficulty in taking this low frequency sound. So probably you may be confused that there are few sounds where child is very much comfortable, like even the loud noise child is comfortable, but some drilling sound, but mixie, pressure cooker, because every sound has a different frequency. And most of the time they have difficulty with the processing with the low frequency sound. That is called the auditory hypersensitivity. Okay. For vision, if it is a hypersensitive, then even they might have difficulties with the light coming to their eyes, or with the sunlights they are not very comfortable with. And when it is a hypofunctioning, they have difficulty in processing where the things are, how to kind of get the things from the drawer. So this is the hyper-responsive to the visual system. So these are the basic general difficulties. These are the just basic idea about if child has a difficulty in processing, sensory processing difficulties. So this would be the symptoms, whether it is whether this particular system is hypofunctioning or hyperfunctioning. So that way we need to find out.
Yeah, thanks, Cyril. I think you really covered a lot of sensory issues. Parents would have got a little of it. And one particular message from the, because I'm reading from the chat box. Okay.
Please.
One particular message, 4 years age child.
Okay.
Let him to brush and chew, and hand stimming is there, and is always on the spin. So is this a sensory issue? That's what the parents want.
Yes, definitely. I am see. First of all, definitely, just a bit minor symptoms. It's very difficult to just assume and kind of comment or conclude. But definitely, this child requires a detailed sensory integration assessment, OT assessment, to understand his different sensory system. But yes, these are the pointers. But definitely, we cannot comment it. But definitely, he requires detailed assessment.
Yes, thank you. And the
Hello?
other one,
Hello?
does the biting? Yeah, no, we are just carrying on with the questions in the chat box. Please continue with the questions in the chat
Yeah,
box.
ma'am. Neha is speaking, ma'am. This is my question actually.
Yeah, okay, Neha, carry on.
मैम माई चाइल्ड वो ब्रशिंग से तो बहुत ज़्यादा रिलक्टेंट करता है, मतलब ब्रश बिल्कुल भी नहीं लेता है अंदर। एक तो ये दिक्कत है। ओरल सेंसरी इश्यूज हैं उसे शायद, क्योंकि वो क्रंची फ्रूट्स भी नहीं लेता है और चुविंग भी इसका इशू है।
कितने साल का है आपका बच्चा?
मैम 4 years।
अच्छा, जो मैम ने बताया वो?
हाँ मैम, वही।
हाँ, डेफिनेटली मैम। सो आई गेस आपको डिटेल असेसमेंट करवाना जरूरी है, क्योंकि ये बहुत सारे कंसर्न है। बिकॉज डेफिनेटली अगर ओरल हाइपर सेंसिटिविटी है तो डेफिनेटली हमें डिटेल असेसमेंट करके और जल्द से जल्द हमें उसको हेल्प करनी पड़ेगी। बिकॉज इट्स ओरल, बिकॉज उसका काफी फीडिंग वगैरह अफेक्ट हो रहा है और फीडिंग से न्यूट्रिशन काफी रिलेटेड है। सो डेफिनेटली आप अच्छे से डिटेल असेसमेंट करवा के ट्रीटमेंट थेरेपी चालू कीजिएगा, वो हो सकता है।
ओके। एंड मैम वो जो हैंड स्टीमिंग करता है बार-बार,
सो हैंड स्टीमिंग करता है तो उसके तो वही है कि हम जब अगर डिटेल असेसमेंट करेंगे तो हमें वो समझ में आएगा कि वो प्रोप्रासेप्टिव के लिए कर रहा है, विजुअल के लिए कर रहा है, किस चीज के लिए कर रहा है। सो इसलिए हम ऐसे ही बात करके उसको नहीं कुछ लेबल कर सकते हैं। अगर आप डिटेल में असेसमेंट करा लोगे तो हमें अच्छे से समझेगा कि कौन सी सिस्टम में हमें कैसे काम करना है।
ओके।
बट डेफिनेटली उसको अच्छे से डिटेल असेसमेंट की जरूरत है।
Thank you.
Hello.
Okay. One more.
Hello, ma'am.
Biting the nails is also sensory. Biting nails.
Sorry, ma'am.
Biting the nails. Is it a sensory? Yes.
It may be anxiety, ma'am.
It might be an anxiety.
So we need to see, look for the other things when he does. Which any particular event, any particular things when he is doing it, or it just maybe a habitual. Sometimes they have this, but I don't know. It is not a.
It can be a behavior issue, right?
More of anxiety. It may be more of anxiety or something. Yes.
So thumb sucking also we can make it the same way.
No, thumb sucking. How old is a child, and we may have to look for the other things. How old is the child? Because till 2 years of age, it is fine.
Yeah.
Okay. But then later we need to find out whether it is oral seeking or whether he is doing with how his other sensory systems are responding, and then we need to take a call on that.
Right. Okay. So I think we are getting it. And one more child, 6 years old. 1 second, sir. We are finishing with the messages. 6 years old. His sitting tolerance is very less. It's very difficult to make him do activities.
Yes.
So if there is any activity which he likes, he wants to do it in all day, and he will not stop doing it. So why is this a behavior or something to do with sensory?
So as all kids requires a good amount of movement. Okay, we expect them to sit for a longer duration of time. It doesn't work like that. And even if we are making them sit, what happens when you sit for a longer duration of time? Your brain shuts down. So whatever learning is happening, it is not an active learning. Okay, so definitely it should be a movement-based learning. It's okay. So you start with the 5 minutes, then give a break, then you increase gradually the duration of the sitting tolerance. You can't expect your child to sit for 1 hour. It's not possible. So you start slowly understanding your child's need.
Yeah, thank you. And one more thing is the child tears paper all the time.
Many things are there. Probably some
No, while watching TV, that's mentioned very clearly. While watching TV, the child keeps on tearing the papers.
Tearing the papers.
Yes.
Otherwise, he is not doing it.
Not.
More of, I guess, stimulant response behavior types, like kind of more of you can kind of work with some psychologist or some behaviorologist, which we can help. But I don't think so. It is a sensory if he's not doing it otherwise.
Right.
If it is a sensory need, then child would be. It would be a need from the brain. Okay, I need this movement. I need to do this. It is out of their control.
Yeah. And one more parent says, one particular professional, she's asking whether sensation and perception goes together for a sensory integration.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes. Because, love the question. Yeah. So there is a receptor in every sensory system has a receptor which goes to the brain, and every sensory system has the brain area in the brain, particular area and function. Brains processes and interprets that particular sensory inputs. That is a perception. So definitely, yes, it is interlinked.
Okay, right, very good. So the next one is from Deepika. My daughter does not want to write. She's 5 years old, likes to draw. So this must be a behavior issue only, no?
Yeah, we need to use the multisensory approach, like you use the Play-Doh to make the letters, or you do the vertical surface. You make it in a fun way, probably it would help develop an interest in writing. If she likes to draw, that indicates that she's having a good amount of perception of the shapes. So I guess we need to reduce the pressure from the child and make it more fun way. Probably she would pick up.
Yeah. And then my son is 14 years old, goes on spin very long time without getting giddy. Is it a sensory issue?
Sorry.
The person is 14 years old. The child is 14 years old and goes on spinning for a very long time and without getting giddy. He doesn't.
Yes, it is he does require a good amount of sensory diet on a regular basis so that he's organized throughout the day. And he's 14 years, so we need to think of more of age-appropriate activities for him, yes.
9 years old, thumb sucking. What do we do?
Otherwise, any other things they put in their mouth?
It's only about thumb sucking.
So definitely we need to work on the strategies. We need to kind of, if child is, his understanding level is good, then we can make a cue card. Okay, we can talk about it. We can use the social stories to make him understand. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And then one more, 10 years old, he pinches almost everything he has in his hand, like crayons, pencils, erasers. Can this be a sensory issue?
10 years old and pinches everything.
Everything.
I guess just this much of information doesn't give me a kind of whether it is a sensory. I guess if at all much kind of, if any other concerns or anything much in detail probably will help us to guide them or help them.
Okay.
Hema,
Yes.
Hema,
Yes, ma'am.
I think it would be very important for all these people who are now on our panel to be able to connect with both Hiral and you, so that you can advise them by watching the actual movement of the child, looking at the child, because sometimes we might not get the right picture by listening to the parent.
Exactly.
So
absolutely, ma'am.
Yeah, so we have to do this as a one-on-one, because many questions cannot be generalized.
Exactly.
And I think it is very important that we see the child. When does the child do this? So I think you can give your numbers and they can use this as a referral point for them to get all their issues, whether it's a sensory or a behavioral issue, to be solved.
Yes.
Since you have people who are ready to solve your issues, connect with us and we will do it.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
That can happen. One more thing, Hiral, I would like to tell this. My son loves music on a very high pitch, but at the same time soils his pant when he comes across any big noise or birthday parties.
So that's what I'm saying. Every sound has a different frequency. Okay. Probably, yes, he might be having, he soils the pan. So definitely he's anxious. So it's about the sound frequency. Definitely somewhere we need to do the detailed history taking and understand about his other systems as well.
Okay. And then is stimming of the mouth means humming?
Humming can be one auditory seeking, kind of like they requires a sound. That may be even the self-regulatory strategy. So yes, it need an attention. Means if it is, see somewhere where when child's function, because of that particular thing, if child's function is affecting, then definitely we need to work on it. If it is not affecting, even we do so many self-regulatory strategies. So it's okay. We cannot sit and erase everything.
Okay. And then a child closes her ears when there's a loud noise, whether it's a TV or anyone talking. And she starts sucking her thumb when she sits idle.
How old is a child?
Child must be around 4 years. She has not mentioned Dhruvi.
No, ma'am, but she's 6 years old.
6 years old, Dhruvi.
So about the sucking thumb, definitely we need to kind of work on like social stories and talk about it and work on that. About the closing ears, yes, probably underlying auditory processing difficulties. We need to take a proper intervention for that. Yeah.
Ma'am, whether it's with her sibling also, her younger brother also, at times when he yells, she's like immediately she closes her ears and she cannot take that loud noise.
Does it affects her participation to any particular activity?
No.
Okay. So that's what. So like if she's able to participate in all social events and everything?
Yes, ma'am. I haven't faced any problem outside. Whenever we are out to a restaurant or a party, I don't see. This is only at home I have observed that it's whether anyone talking loudly or if the TV is loud or anyone laughing loudly. Only it happens at the home.
But she's fine with other like going out and do.
Yes, ma'am. She's absolutely fine when we are out.
Yeah, it's about the frequency, definitely, probably. So we need to just check more in detail about it then.
All right, ma'am. I'll get in touch with you, ma'am.
Sure, ma'am.
Excuse me, I just want to ask one question.
Yes.
My child is 2 years, 2 months old.
Okay.
And he throw away everything, whatever comes to his hand, whether it is a toy, mobile, a remote, anything. He always throws it away. Is it a sensitive issue or something else?
Just throwing things. He's just 2.2. That is the age when they learn throwing and exploring the environment. Okay. So yes, definitely we have to kind of either you make it more purposeful and you kind of put the kind of a tray. Make sure he's not getting affected and other people are not getting affected. But you can kind of talk to him and kind of so generally yes, you. That age they start exploring the environment and they throw and understand where it is falling, how does it sounding. So this is more of exploratory stage, but slowly you encourage him to put it in the container, make it more purposeful.
Okay, and after that we generally show our eyes to him and he understands that yes, I have done something wrong.
And then he cleans up?
No, he put his face down. He feels shy. Yes, I have done something wrong.
Okay, I guess, so instead of that showing him eyes, you can be kind of smile and ask, okay, can we clean up? I know as a parent, it becomes difficult at that moment, but we can kind of connect with him in a different way. Probably we smile and okay, it's a cleanup time. Can we clean up? And ask him only to put it in the basket, because it would be having more positive impact rather than giving him a kind of negative feedback about that.
Okay. And one more thing. Most of the time, he slaps his elder brother. Most of the time, whenever he get a chance, he slaps his elder brother.
Slaps. He slaps.
Slaps.
No, then it is not appropriate. Hurting anyone is not appropriate. You really need to talk to. I know he's too young, but it is very important how we respond to that negative behavior to the child. So we always talk, like, I know it's not just one time. You need to keep repeating that. We need to be kind. We need to do pyar, like kind of in whatever words or language you say. We need to be gentle with your brother. Okay. So, but you need to definitely correct at that moment.
Okay.
Okay.
Hiral, 1
But-
minute.
Yes,
I want
ma'am.
to know whether the mother has slapped the boy, the older boy.
No.
No, many
No,
things
Rekha,
are learned behavior. I'm the type of person who comes bang on. I don't know how to mince my words. So I want to know, when a child has watched something, only they pick it up. So I think a lot of our behavior is learned behavior. And I keep telling our therapists that 90% of children have only learned behavior. So when they are doing something, it is something they have seen, they have watched, and they want to do the same thing. So I think we have to also look at a lot of this stems from the mother's stress, the mother's attitude, the mother's anger, because it's 6 months in the house. So there's a lot of backup stresses that are happening with the parents also. So I think we have to always ask the right questions by not mincing our words, because it is important for us to know why a child does that. And many times it's not a behavioral issue. It is a learned issue. So we need to always assess properly. Okay, so ask her to check and see whether somebody else he has seen doing that.
Okay, Rekha, okay.
Okay? Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And Hiral, there's one question here from a parent. Should we do sensory diet activities at the same time, or should it be spread throughout the day?
It should be, see, sensory diet itself is like, depending on child's need, it should be kind of distributed throughout the day, definitely. Like, it's not like you do all the activities together. It's like when you see the child is dysregulated, that time you work on the child, which brings him to on a regulation, bring him in a optimal arousal state. Whenever again you see the change in the arousal level, again you give some, depending on child's need, you give some activity which brings his arousal level on optimal state. And that's how you need to work. It's not just you kind of eat everything together and you are organized. It becomes difficult. We need to understand the child's need, and accordingly we need to work on the activities. Definitely, yes.
Okay.
May I share my concern, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, I'm Sagar Kale here.
Yes, sir.
I have 4-year-old son, Samay. He's just playing now. So he keeps his thumb putting in his mouth, more particularly when he's watching television. At other times, he keeps putting things in his mouth. So but good thing is that he does not swallow. He comes sometimes to me and says, He doesn't speak yet, Baba or Ma or Papa, this much he says, not much. But with his sign language, if he has done susu somewhere, he will come to me, pull my shirt from behind, and he will show, here I have done. And he puts something or the other on the susu first, and then comes to me. That is one thing. Second thing is that he bangs things on the floor. Maybe he enjoys that sound or what, I don't know. But after drinking water, he will just put the water bottle on the ground. After sitting on the chair, he will just bang the chair after getting off the chair. He does like after taking something from the kitchen and after seeing or playing with it, he bangs it down. These are two concerns. Sucking, thumb sucking. If I take one hand out, he quickly puts another thumb in his mouth. He doesn't rule.
Okay. So definitely when his speech still, it has not come, so, and he's still having oral seeking behavior, then definitely we need to work out, we need to find out why the speech is still delayed, why there is no improvement. How is his chewing, biting, sucking, blowing?
Very nice, very nice. Otherwise he is okay, good, very good. Even when after his birth only the doctor had said that his sucking is very good.
Okay.
Chewing, okay, soft. Generally, he prefers soft food, but if
Yeah.
kind of that, what we call chakris, even he get some crispy food, he keeps on munching on it. But at other times, he doesn't like hard food.
So this gives some amount of oral hypersensitivity history. Definitely, I guess to an extent we should do the detailed assessment about his oral system and help him, because I'm worried still he's not having speech. So
Yes.
why is it a oromotor planning concern? And we need to find out on the other aspects about his oral system, definitely.
We had taken him to a speech therapist in October or November something last year, and the speech therapist had said that till June, this last June, he will start speaking because his responses are very good. But this COVID thing came in between, and the therapies all stopped. We didn't go for the online also. Yeah.
I understand. So I guess whatever therapists were doing, you try to practice at home, take some tele sessions and help, because definitely he requires a good amount of work. He's already 4 years and he's still not producing sound. So that is definitely worrisome for me. So definitely, I guess.
Sorry for interruption, ma'am. He produces sounds. He follows the commands as well. If I ask him, go and get me water.
But I mean to say speech, right? So, but definitely he requires an intense intervention there, because there are other development, everything is interlinked. So definitely we need to address on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I come in, please?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Hello. So thank you, sir. Here, this one, I think we are running short of time. It's only 10 minutes to go with the session closing.
Can I ask something, please?
1 second, please. 1 second. Let me just finish, because there are queries which is being repeated. So I'm just picking up few queries. 8.5 years old, puts everything in the mouth, chews on crayons, pencils, toys, tried cue cards and social stories. Nothing worked. Any help?
Definitely looks like an oral seeking behavior. So we may kind of work on the battery operated toothbrush, or a kind of using the different textured clothes inside his mouth, or giving him more chewable items in his food diet, like carrot sticks, or some amount of dry fruits, which is you really need to require to chew a little more. So those type of oral chewable items would help him, so that urge of putting things non-food object would go down.
Okay, thank you.
Does that help?
Yeah, that should be the help, right? The parents must be getting it. Another one is 3.5 years old. When idle and not engaged, she pulls her hair and makes some sounds like some humming sounds. Okay. When we alert her, she stops it. Is it sensory or behavior?
Pulls hair and some making sound, definitely. Sometimes it is a self-regulatory, or sometimes we also hums like that. But pulling hair, which is, I feel it is very important to kind of address. Probably, definitely, if she's not having any other self-injurious behavior or something, then it is not more of sensory, but yes, definitely we need to see. It's very difficult question when it comes like this. So we need to check more on about the tactile system, but looks like, because she just mentioned about the hair pulling, looks like more of behavior.
Okay.
So the sound is, so just to add up on that, so the sound she makes is ooh, 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 and she pulls her, and it happens only when she's idle and not doing, or we are not engaged with her. We are like doing our work and she is idle and laying down in the floor.
So if it is not affecting her function, if it is not, so example in school setting, this may be a difficulty or challenge where other kids would get disturbed, but maybe auditory seeking probably. So some amount of auditory strategy support may help.
Okay, thank you.
And one more thing here, my son has spitting habit. So what should I do?
So if child is spitting habit, so definitely, and then whether he tries to feel it.
No mentioning. Nothing is mentioned beyond that. So I think they have to come back to us to tell us more about it, right?
Yeah, spitting. So it may be sometimes, yeah, we need to differentiate whether it is just a behavior or oral, seeing the other components of the oral system.
Exactly. So I think we will leave that now. And one more is child vomits on any soggy food or honey.
Sensory.
Sensory.
Oh, yeah, definitely oral sensitivity, oral hypersensitivity. Definitely we need to address it.
Yes. And my daughter is 15 months old. She cries after a minute after getting hurt.
Sorry.
The child is just 15 months old. She cries after a minute after she gets hurt. Like the response is slow.
Response is slow. That indicates the probably hyper responsive to the tactile system. So you be very vigilant about her, like kind of she's not getting hurt, because she's not going to cry immediately because she's hyper responsive to the touch. Okay. But you can start exploring her with lots of tactile toys, textured toys, which may help in improving her some amount of it would be helping her for kind of tactile processing.
Okay, right. Thank you. And the one particular child spitting only on grandfather.
No behavior. Yeah, this is, I guess we need to work out on this, how grandfather is responding to that particular behavior, how others are responding to that particular behavior. So everything is definitely interlinked and we need to really address it in a better way.
Right. I think we have covered most of it. Only 3 minutes to go. So there are many which seems to be behavior, and I have not put it to the Hiral because I didn't want to waste her time. So anything in specific with the sensory, yes, we are taking the questions. If it is behavior, we are putting it aside. We will have one more session, right, Hiral, for behavior?
Yes, ma'am.
So there's a lot of behavior issues. I can read these questions and understand that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, my daughter makes a sound whenever she concentrates on some play or activity.
See, so this making sound when they are focusing on tasks, okay, it's definitely somewhere it's kind of regulating themselves doing those things. So I still repeat, if something which is affecting their function or participation in any environment, then definitely you need to address things. Okay. You may use some amount of auditory strategy, consulting your therapist, that would help reducing the humming, and other we need to work out even the other sensory systems as well, as this auditory, vestibular and visual are connected to each other. So we really need to see a child as a whole.
Yeah, thank you so much, Hiral. I think parents, we have come to the end. It's just 2 minutes to go. We could cover the from your messages. I could take in whichever is called sensory and put it to Hiral, and she could tell us everything. And one particular only one message left over here. Touches the hair and touches the private parts very often.
How old is a child? It is important.
They have not mentioned the child's age. No, they have not mentioned the child's age.
Okay, touching, so age is important because, touching private parts, definitely it comes into the exploration of the genitals. First, we need to find out whether it is, whether the child is having any form of the, whether it is a urine infection or something, that we need to rule out with the pediatrician. Next is we need to check whether there are any rashes around. Other is definitely they have this exploration of the genital part. Generally, it is a part of the development. In general, when child is developing, they do it, which is they know the social norms and they do it in a private.
Please mention the age until when they can do this.
This is it's very difficult to say, but yes, when they are doing it, like when it is a part of the regular development, they do it. It's a development only. They do it, which is like they not in front of anyone. They do it. They know the social norms and they follow it. When child is unable to follow the social norms, when they are kind of grown up, definitely you can talk about that safety level. They cannot touch private parts in front of everyone. Even you need to use this right from the beginning. You need to kind of
talk to the child about the private parts, and child should be dressed, undressed with the closed door. And that's how they are going to learn about the safety. All of a sudden we expect them to do it when they grow up. It is not possible. So we need to keep talking to them about the safety. We need to give them, so now this I'll take an opportunity to just discuss this part. So we need to label our genitals the way it is, like vagina, breast, lips. So same name you should be using it. You talk to them that nobody should be touching there, and if anybody is touching, they should be telling them to telling about it to their parents or any adults. Okay, generally, ideally, you should start at the early age. Okay, because this is about the sexual safety I'm talking. You should be starting with the early age. Okay, and definitely, whenever you are doing it, it should be during the bathroom time. When you're giving them a bath, that time you can talk. That is the ideal time. You can use the books and the videos available about the sexual safety. You can talk about it. Now, sorry, it was a bit off to the topic, but regarding this child who is having the exploration of the genitals, so definitely we need to talk to him about that. He cannot be doing it in front of everyone. And other thing about him, what we can say is, we can make him wear a tight underwear. If it is wearing a loose lehenga, then he would be having urge of touching there again and again. If he is wearing a tight underwear or a cycling shorts, the urge of touching there would go down. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you, Hiral. I think we have come to an end. It is already 5 o'clock. Thanks a lot, Hiral, to be with us. Thank you, parents.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you for consideration.
Thanks, everyone.
I swear, Hiral, thank you. Yeah, you saved our lives.
Anytime, ma'am. Anytime, ma'am.
Yeah. But honestly, it was like we were looking at people, and I said, Hiral, come on, get Hiral.
Yeah, and Rekha aunty, when we called her, she was like, okay, I'll cancel my session and this is more important for me. And she joined.
She is amazing. Tejal, she is such a blessing. And Hema, thank you for keeping the crowd going for 1 hour. You did it. And honestly, you people, I keep saying we have to clone you people. We have to clone you people and have many such people all over the country, because look at the number of people who are getting affected. Can you both put up your email addresses and your contact WhatsApp
I will
number?
share. I will share this on messages. Yes, definitely, ma'am. I would do that.
Yes,
thank you, Tejal. Thank you, Hiral. And thank you, Hema. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rekha ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Hema ma'am.
God bless
Thank
you.
you.
God bless
Thank
you.
you. Take care. Bye. Take care.
Bye. Bye.